people face today, especially college students. According to the article, Psychological Distress, Burnout, and Academic Performance in First-Year College Students, burnout is a multifaceted construct characterized by various degrees of emotional exhaustion, the feeling of not being able to give the best both physically and psychologically, depersonalization, a negative or distant attitude towards other people, also defined as cynicism or disbelief, and a low sense of personal accomplishment, the tendency to feel incompetent.
Though it is not the most modern-day example of college burnout, the novel The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath is a good example of literature that shows college burnout, its potential causes, and its detrimental effects on young college students. The Bell Jar follows the main character, Esther Greenwood, a young college woman in the 1950s, as she struggles with finding motivation to do her work, connecting with peers, and deciding what she wants to do in the future. Esther is given a great opportunity to push her career forward, yet she says that she has, quote, felt very still and very empty, the way the eye of a tornado must feel, moving fully along in the middle of the surrounding hullabaloo, feelings that many who experience burnout can feel.
We decided to ask some of our fellow UP students how they feel about burnout and if they have ever experienced some of the same feelings that Esther had.
Alright, I'm here with
Max Rickard.
what comes to mind when you hear the word burnout?
Education, specifically the U.S. education system.
Alright, I'm here with
My name is Emily.
what comes to mind when you hear the word burnout?
Feeling tired or really exhausted.
Alright, while in college, have you ever experienced burnout?
Yes, I would say a lot of my college experience I've experienced burnout.
Okay. And do you mind sharing what that experience was like?
Yeah, I mean it makes it really difficult to go to classes or to like connect with anyone or like reach out for help. You just feel kind of like, I personally just feel very stuck. You feel that burnout. You just feel very tired, so you can't do much.
While in college, have you ever experienced burnout? And if so, do you mind sharing what your experience was like?
Yeah, probably at the end of almost every term of college so far. Usually around the time that finals and final projects start setting in, the feeling of this like overwhelming sense that like there's so much that I have to do and there's never going to be enough time to do it.
Sounds good. Alright, I'm here with
Alex.
Alright, so what comes to mind when you hear the word burnout?
Something that you don't want to happen. You like are done with what you're doing and you don't want to do it anymore.
While in college, have you ever experienced burnout? And if so, do you mind sharing what your experience was like?
Yeah, I'm kind of burned out right now of like school, and I really can't wait for it to be over. But we just gotta get through these last 2 weeks, and then we're done. So.
Given that Esther was influenced by societal standards and those around her to rethink what she wants to do in and whether she has done enough to prepare for the future, we decided to ask our peers if they had too been influenced by similar things, and if not, then what did they believe contributes to burnout?
Why did you decide to go to college after high school, and what made you choose the major you did?
Well, since I was a kid, I've had aspirations of working on electric motorcycles, which is my intended career path, and that's why I chose to be an engineer.
I chose to go to college after high school because no one in my family ever graduated from college, and my major is civil engineering, and I chose that because I really want to help people, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Sounds great.
I really wanted to run, so college helped with that, and I chose this major because I'm really interested in like the human body and like how it works. So yeah.
Would you say that you were influenced by societal standards or those around you in any way?
Honestly, yeah. I think that I went to a school with pretty high expectations for most of its students, and a lot of the people in my life also put pretty high expectations on me, and so I feel like those definitely influenced my choices in education and my general life and career path?
Yeah, I would say so. As much as I'm going to college because no one else in my family went to college, it's also just like the norm to go to a 4-year. I definitely would have probably taken a few years to myself before I actually went to college, but in order to help my family, I definitely was pushed to go to college.
And then,
Definitely, because all my friends went to college, so I also wanted to go just to, like, I guess, fit in with them. But also, I know that it's like helpful for your future too. So,
what do you believe might cause burnout in students?
I think it's just the overload of like courses and needing to maintain like life in general. But we're learning how to be adults finally, like by ourselves without our parents usually. Yeah, it's just not knowing how to like manage those things.
Sounds good. Thank you.
when teachers don't give you like a deadline for your assignments, and then so you just like wait till the last like 2 weeks of the semester to do all of them, and then that really like makes school like unenjoyable. So I think they should put deadlines on their work.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Esther, what might have started as mere burnout developed into severe depression, which led her to making a suicide attempt and being put in multiple asylums. As her story takes place in the 1950s, people were not educated on the importance of mental health and how taking a break every now and then can help to prevent burnout, or at least extreme cases of it. Esther was able to receive the best treatment that she could have been given, since it was the 1950s, and at the end of the novel there is optimism that she will get better. She says that it was, quote, as if the usual order of the world had shifted slightly and entered a new phase. Even though Esther has found some sort of support system and is able to breathe sweet air, there are still worrying signs that she will be surrounded by the sour air once again. Throughout the novel, Esther has had this passiveness about her, often saying that it felt like she was being controlled by a thread. The thread had disappeared after her treatment proved successful. But in the very last sentence of the novel, when she is meeting with the doctors, the magical thread appears once again, beginning the question as to whether Esther was truly better.
Even though we are better equipped in the year 2024 to deal with mental health issues and burnout, many people continue to struggle with finding ways to cope with and counteract these problems. For the final questioning of our interviewees, we asked them how they have seen burnout affect themselves and those around them, as well as what they do or suggest doing to counteract and overcome burnout.
How have you seen burnout affect you and those around you, like whether it's beyond their mental health, motivational relationships, like etc.? Like
all of that, yep. I think definitely after spring break, the motivation goes for everyone, especially when you look at how much is on your plate. I think it can be very stressful on relationships because you don't have time. Relationships are work, and if you don't have bandwidth, it can make it really hard. So I think one thing that's really important and one thing that helped me is I always had outside activities.
I'm here with
Annabelle.
Cool. Okay, so how have you been able to overcome burnout, and could you share some words of advice to those watching about like what they could do to counteract burnout?
I feel like I've been able to overcome it just by really good time management, and also by being able to divide my time between just like social and in the library.
The Bell Jar and the story of Esther Greenwood is a tragic one, but one that many people can relate to in one way or another. Though the ending is ambiguous and we are left to wonder what became of Esther, we can be hopeful that she found a system that worked for her and that she was able to overcome her circumstances.
Everyone has faced burnout in one way or another, whether in the past or present. Burnout is something that unfortunately must continually be worked on if it is to be kept at bay. Though it may be hard to find the sweet air when you feel that you are constantly being suffocated by sour air, finding support systems such as friends or family, doing activities that you enjoy even if for a small amount of time, and giving yourself breaks when you need them can help you escape the bell jar.